My child, I see you. I see you in this exact moment with the phone in your hand, the screen glowing in the dim light, searching for something, anything to hold on to. You've been scrolling through noise, through pretend smiles and filtered lives, hoping to stumble upon a spark. But you're not really looking for entertainment, are you? You're looking for a lifeline. You're looking for a sign that you're not forgotten. You're breathing, but it feels like drowning. You're moving, but it feels like sinking. The weight you carry has a name, exhaustion. Not just of the body, but of the spirit. The kind of fatigue that makes hope feel like a childish joke and the future look like a closed door. You've prayed until your words ran dry. You've fought until your strength vanished. And now, the quiet, terrifying thought is whispering in your ear. What's the use? Maybe I should just stop. Stop fighting. Stop trying. Stop believing. Just give up. That thought did not come from me. It is a lie delivered to your doorstep in the uniform of despair. But I have intercepted it. I have rerouted its delivery. And I have placed this message directly in your path at this precise second to tell you one eternal truth. You were not meant to carry this alone. And you are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from it. The outcome is already secured. Your story does not end in defeat. It is woven into the fabric of a resurrection. I know you feel alone. You feel like you're shouting into a void, that your tears hit the ground unseen, that your struggle is a silent, solitary war. Look around at the four walls of your room, at the silence that feels so heavy. I am in that silence. I am not the void. I am the fullness that inhabits it. My presence is not a feeling. It is a fact. When you whispered, God, if you're there, I heard the crack in your voice before the sound left your lips. When you laid your head down and cried the tears you don't let anyone see, I collected every single one. They are not lost. They are sacred. They are the liquid prayers I treasure most. Your vulnerability is not a sign of weakness to me. It is the ultimate act of trust, the raw material of miracles. You think your faith is too small? You think because you can't muster up some giant, triumphant feeling that I have turned away? My child, faith is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is the choice you made in this very moment to click on this message, to search for me in your darkness. That flicker, that desperate reach, that is faith. And it is more powerful than you can imagine. I do not measure your faith by its volume, but by its direction. And right now, its direction is toward me. That is enough. That has always been enough. I need you to understand something about the battle you're in. The enemy of your soul doesn't attack you where you're weak. He attacks you where you're called. This weight, this pressure, this feeling of being at your absolute limit, it is not evidence of my absence. It is often the sign that you are on the very brink of a breakthrough you cannot yet see. The greatest pressure comes right before the birth. The darkest hour comes right before the dawn. You are in a spiritual labor. What feels like death throes are actually birth pangs. What is about to be born in your life, a new level of strength, a new depth of purpose, a new chapter of freedom, is so significant that hell is throwing everything it has to make you quit before you see it. So I am here in these words to fortify you, to stand in the gap, to be the reinforcements you've been praying for. I did not send an angel. I did not send a principal. I am sending you my word, my heart, my promise, tailored for you right now. This is not a generic message of hope. This is a targeted divine intervention for a heart on the verge of surrender. You are about to lay down your weapon. I am here to lift your arms. Take a breath, a real one. Inhale, and as you do, say in your mind, you are here. Exhale and release the lie that says, I am alone. Do it again. This is not just breathing. This is taking your first act of defiance against the spirit of despair. With every breath you are declaring, I am still here and God is still God. We are just beginning. This is not the end of your story. This is the turning of the page. The previous chapter was hard. It was filled with conflicts and tears and questions. But the next chapter is why you held on. It is the chapter where the pieces start to make sense, where the pain finds its purpose, where the waiting reveals its worth. Do not give up 5 minutes before the miracle. I am the God of the 11th hour. I am the one who parted the Red Sea when the enemy's breath was on the necks of my people. I am the one who rolled the stone away after 3 days of silence. Your timeline is not my prison. Your desperation is not my deterrent. It is my invitation. I am holding you. Even if you cannot feel it, trust it. My promises are not dependent on your perception. They are anchored in my character. And I cannot lie. I cannot fail you. I will not abandon you. This message is your proof. You are seen. You are known, you are loved, and you are so close. And you, hold on. Just a little longer. With me. That breath you took, it was a declaration of war. It was the quietest, most powerful no to the lie of abandonment. Now let's go deeper. I need you to see what I see when I look at your struggle. You see a mess. You see failure. You see a mountain that refuses to move. You see prayers that seem to fall back to the ground, unanswered. But from where I sit, enthroned above all chaos, I see something beautiful. I see an altar. Every tear has been a sacred offering. Every silent plea in the midnight hour has been holy incense. Every time you got up and faced another day you didn't think you could face, you were placing a sacrifice of obedience on the flames. You thought you were just surviving. I tell you, you have been worshiping. In your perseverance, you have been building an altar of raw, stunning faith in the wilderness of your life. And the fragrance of that offering has risen to me, and it has moved my heart. Do you remember the story of Elijah on Mount Carmel? He built an altar, drenched it in water, making the test even harder, and called down fire from heaven. Your life right now feels drenched, doesn't it? Soaked with disappointment, saturated with weariness. It feels like the very conditions for a miracle are impossible. But I am the God of the drenched altar. The water doesn't deter my fire, it glorifies it. It proves that the conflagration is undeniably mine. Your saturated struggle is not proof that I am ignoring you. It is the staging ground for a display of my glory that will leave no doubt about its source. Let's name the water. Let's call it out together. The water of financial lack, the water of chronic pain, the water of betrayal, the water of loneliness, the water of anxiety that floods your mind. You have been trying to bail out this water with a teaspoon of your own strength. Stop. Step back. The water is not your problem to remove. It is my platform to demonstrate my power. The very thing you think is hindering your breakthrough is the substance I will use to ignite it. I want you to shift your perspective off of the mountain and onto the altar builder. That's you. Look at your hands. They are calloused from holding on. They are scarred from the fight. You see weakness. I see the marks of a priest who has been tending a holy flame in a very dark place. The fact that you are still tending it, that you haven't let it go out completely, that is the miracle. The flicker is still there, and I am about to send a wind to turn that flicker into an inferno. This is why the enemy wants you to give up. He isn't afraid of your comfort. He's terrified of your altar. He's petrified of what happens when a weary, faithful heart stops trying to put out its own fires and simply says, God, this is yours. Let your will be done. That surrender is not defeat. It is the final piece of kindling. It is you stepping back and saying, I can't, but I know the one who can. That is the invitation I have been waiting for. I need you to do something radical. I need you to thank me for the altar, not for the pain, but for my presence in it. Not for the struggle, but for the strength you didn't know you had that was drawn out by it. Say it out loud, even if it's a whisper. Thank you, God, that you are here in this mess. Thank you that my tears are not wasted. Thank you that this altar of struggle is in your hands. This is the act of faith that changes the spiritual atmosphere. It moves you from victim to victor. It aligns your heart with heaven's perspective. Now see the wood on the altar. That wood is the dreams you've had to lay down, the relationships that ended, the plans that crumbled. It looks like a pile of dead, broken things. But dead wood is the best fuel for fire. I am not going to restore your old dreams. I am going to ignite them with a new, holy purpose and bring them to life in a way you never imagined. The broken pieces are not evidence of your failure. They are the perfect arrangement for a divine blaze. You are not waiting on me. I am waiting on you. I am waiting for you to see what I see, to stop praying for the struggle to end, and to start asking for the fire to fall upon the struggle, to invite me into the very center of your pain and say, "Here, this is the altar, have your way, the moment is coming." The spiritual kindling is arranged. The heavens are leaning in. All of heaven is holding its breath, watching a faithful heart in the wilderness refuse to let its last ember die. The host of angels is ready at my command. They are not here to pity you. They are here to assist in the glorious conflagration of your breakthrough. So, tend your altar. Stop trying to dismantle it. Stop being ashamed of it. Your struggle is not your secret shame. It is your sacred space. It is the very place where I will meet you. It is the ground where heaven will kiss earth in your life. The world runs from fire. But you, my child, are called to walk through it and not be burned. The flames are coming. Not to consume you, but to consume everything that has been holding you back, everything that has been weighing you down, everything that has been whispering the lie that you are alone. The smoke of your sacrifice has reached my throne. The prayer of your weariness has been heard. The answer is not a quiet resolution. It is a holy fire. Get ready. Don't give up. You are not guarding a pile of ashes. You are guarding a sacred altar, moments before it becomes a beacon that lights up the sky of your life and shows everyone who doubted, including the you who doubted, that I am here. The altar is built. The kindling is arranged. You have whispered your thanks in the midst of the ache. Now I must explain to you the pressure you feel. This isn't random. This isn't punishment. This deep, soul-crushing pressure has a divine purpose, and understanding it will change everything. You feel pressed on every side, squeezed by deadlines, by needs, by expectations, by the sheer relentless weight of what if. It feels like you're in a spiritual vice and someone is turning the handle. Your mind is crowded. Your spirit feels compressed. Your patience is thin. You've asked, God, why won't you lift this? Why does it have to be so hard? My beloved child, I am not the source of the pressure, but I am the sovereign over it. And I am using it to perform a deep, eternal work in you that comfort could never accomplish. I am making you into a diamond. Look at a lump of coal, dark, common, brittle. It is carbon, just like a diamond. The only difference is the story written in its atoms. Coal is formed under moderate pressure over time. But a diamond? A diamond is formed in the deep, dark places of the earth under extreme, unimaginable pressure and intense heat. That pressure doesn't destroy the carbon. It rearranges it. It forces every atom into a perfect, unbreakable alignment. What emerges is no longer common, no longer fragile. It is the hardest, most brilliant, most valuable substance on earth. It becomes something that can cut through glass, reflect radiant light, and last for eternity. You are in the diamond press. The enemy means this pressure to crush you. But I have authorized it to create you. The heat of adversity and the pressure of these circumstances are not here to destroy your faith. They are here to crystallize it, to take the carbon of your belief which has been sincere but perhaps scattered, hopeful but perhaps mixed with doubt, and forge it into something unshakable, brilliant, and eternal. Every problem pressing in on you is another ton of heavenly force, meticulously applied, to align your soul with the resilience and radiance of Christ. This is why the easy way out hasn't appeared. This is why the quick fix dissolved. A diamond cannot be microwaved. It cannot be rushed. The process is as important as the product. I am not just interested in getting you out of this situation. I am committed to getting this situation into you. To forge in you a character that cannot be bought, a peace that cannot be shaken, a faith that cannot be shattered. I am building a version of you that your future requires. The you that existed before this pressure could not handle the weight of the glory, the responsibility, the influence, and the answered prayers that are coming. Think of a seed. It feels safe in the packet. It is dry, intact, separate. But to become what it is destined to be, it must be buried. It must be subjected to the pressure of the dark, damp soil. It must let its shell crack open, a feeling of destruction. Only then can life explode upward toward the sun and downward into roots. What you are calling pressure, I am calling the necessary breaking for your becoming. The shell of your self-reliance, of your old limitations, of your comfortable mindset. It is cracking. It has to. The new life inside you is too powerful to be contained by what used to hold you. So when you pray, God relieve the pressure, and it seems to intensify, understand this: I am not ignoring you. I am answering a deeper prayer, the prayer of your destiny. I am aligning you. I am fortifying you. I am preparing you to hold and reflect a level of my glory that would have shattered the old you. This pressure is my precision tool. It is the exact force required to produce the exact brilliance I designed for you. Now, look at the nature of the pressure points. Are they financial? I am teaching your heart to find security in me as provider, not in an account balance. Are they relational? I am forging in you a love that is loyal and patient, not needy and insecure. Are they physical? I am teaching your spirit to govern your flesh, to draw strength from a well that never runs dry. The pressure is always applied to the area where I am cultivating the greatest strength, the most brilliant facet of your diamond soul. Do not resent the press. Lean into it. Surrender to the process. Whisper in the dark, do your work, God. Align me. Make me unbreakable. This is the prayer of the diamond. It is the agreement with my purpose that turns agony into anointing. The feeling that you can't take one more second? That is the lie of the threshold. You are always stronger than you think, because I am in you. The pressure will never exceed the grace I have allocated for you to bear it. Never. You are not at your breaking point, you are at your making point. The moment of greatest pressure is always the moment before the perfect form is revealed. Hold on. The heat is high. The pressure is immense, but I am the master jeweler. My eyes are on you every second. I am watching for the precise moment of perfect clarity, of flawless alignment. And when that moment comes, and it is coming soon, the press will open. You will step out, and you will no longer be common coal, easily crushed. You will be a diamond, forged in darkness, perfected under pressure, and now ready to catch the light of heaven and refract it into a broken world in 1,000 dazzling ways. This pressure is the proof of your value. No one puts worthless material through the diamond press. You are worth this process. Your destiny is worth this pain. Your future is worth this fight. Don't give up. You are not being crushed. You are being crafted. You've understood the altar. You've felt the diamond press. But there is another agony I must address, the one that cuts deeper than any circumstance. It is the silence, the feeling that your prayers hit the ceiling and fall back, lifeless, the echo of your own voice in what seems like an empty heaven. You've cried out, "Speak to me, show me a sign, give me an answer," and the response has felt like nothing. This quiet has been the hardest part. It has made you wonder if I am even listening, if I even care. My child, I need you to reframe this. What you are experiencing is not my absence. It is my deepest form of attention. It is not a silence of abandonment. It is the silence of the surgery room. When a skilled surgeon is performing a delicate operation, there are no lengthy speeches. The room is quiet, focused, intense. Every resource, every ounce of skill, every bit of attention is directed to the precise work at hand. Conversation is minimal. The patient often feels alone, unaware of the intricate, life-saving work being done just inches away. That is where you are. I have you on the operating table of my spirit. I am performing a transplant of trust, removing the cancerous growth of self-sufficiency, suturing your heart directly to mine. I am not ignoring your cries. I am so utterly focused on the internal, eternal work that my communication has become almost entirely tactile. The steady, sure hand of the healer at work in the depths of your spirit. You asked for a sign. You wanted a billboard, a burning bush, an angel. But I am giving you something more profound. I am giving you resilience. I am building in you a faith that does not require constant external validation. A love for me that is not based on the frequency of my audible replies, but on the rock-solid truth of my finished work on the cross. This quiet is where infant faith dies and mature, unshakable faith is born. This is where you learn to walk by faith, not by sight or by feeling. Think of a parent teaching a child to walk. There comes a moment when the parent lets go. The child wobbles, arms outstretched, face uncertain. The parent doesn't disappear. They step back, but their gaze is locked, their body tense, ready to spring forward at the first sign of a true fall. The child feels alone, unsure. But the parent's distance is not neglect. It is the necessary space for growth, for strength to develop in those tiny legs. My perceived silence is that sacred, painful, necessary space. I have not let go of you. My gaze has never left you. But I have stepped back just enough for you to discover that the strength to stand was inside you all along, because I put it there. You are learning to walk in a new dimension of trust, and it is terrifying. But you are not falling. You are wobbling toward a breakthrough. There is another layer to this silence. I have put a divine embargo on certain answers. Why? Because if I gave you the answer right now, you would settle for the explanation and miss the transformation. If I revealed the full plan, you would try to execute it in your own strength and ruin the beautiful, fragile thing I am growing. If I spoke the word of deliverance this second, you would run from the process that is making you whole. My timing is not a delay, it is a protection. My silence is not a denial, it is a curation. I am withholding the what so I can fully give you the who, a deeper revelation of myself as your shepherd, your sustainer, your enough in the wilderness. Listen more closely to the silence. It is not empty. It is full of the sound of your own heart, learning to beat in rhythm with mine. It is full of the crumbling of idols you didn't even know you worshipped. The idol of control, the idol of timeline, the idol of comfortable faith. The noise of their fall is deafening internally, which is why you perceive external quiet. I am clearing the temple. So what do you do in the silence? You do what Job did. After his agonizing cries and debates, after his friends' hollow explanations, he came to a place where he said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That is the declaration that shatters the power of silence. You stop demanding that I speak on your terms, and you simply trust my character. You worship not because of what you hear, but because of who you know I am. You open your Bible not as a magic answer book, but as the steady, unchanging record of my faithfulness to generations who also walked in the quiet. You let the silence become your sanctuary, not your prison. And here is the secret. In that posture of surrendered trust, the silence breaks. not with a clap of thunder, but with a whisper of knowing, a deep, settled assurance in your spirit that defies all circumstances, a peace that passes understanding that guards your heart and mind, a sudden, intuitive clarity about the very next step, even though the whole path isn't illuminated. This is how I speak in the wilderness, not with a road map, but with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, just enough light for the step you're on. Your faith is being upgraded, from a faith that needs constant reassurance to a faith that stands firm on the covenant. This is the faith that moves mountains. This is the faith that pleases me, and it can only be forged in the fire of seeming silence. Do not mistake my focus for forgetfulness. Do not mistake my surgical precision for indifference. The most profound work of my spirit is often done in the quietest places. You are in the holy hush before the eruption of glory. The seed is in the dark soil. The diamond is in the press. The canvas is primed in the studio. The silence is not the end of the story. It is the most pregnant, powerful part. Hold your peace. Hold your trust. I am speaking louder than you know. You are just learning a new language, the language of the Spirit, fluent in faithfulness, fluent in patience, fluent in a love that does not need to shout to be known. The answer is coming. But first, the transformation. You have stood in the fire. You have weathered the silence. You have learned to command the unseen forces aligned with your destiny. Now, lean in. The final secret, the ultimate reason I intercepted your surrender, is this. You were about to quit in the last watch of the night. The dawn I have been preparing you for, the dawn I have been preparing through you, is not just a change in your circumstances. It is a change in your very nature. You are not just walking out of a trial. You are walking into your commission. Look at the horizon of your spirit. Do you see it? The faintest, most fragile line of gold separating the black of the long night from the coming blue. That is not your imagination. That is prophecy. That is the first visible evidence of my promise taking form. The darkness has done its work. It has taught you to see in the Spirit. It has stripped away the superficial. It has anchored you to the rock of who I am. And now it must recede. For you were not created for perpetual night. You were created to carry light. This breakthrough, when it manifests, will feel less like a sudden explosion and more like a deep, resonant unlocking. Doors that refuse to budge will swing open on oiled hinges. Relationships that were strained will find a foundation of grace. Ideas that were stagnant will flow with creative life. Provision will find paths to your door you didn't engineer. It will feel like a season of divine ease, but understand, it is not the absence of battle. It is the arrival of an anointing so specific, so tailored to the person you have become in the press, that obstacles become insignificant. You will move with a grace that baffles onlookers. They will call you lucky, gifted, fortunate. But you and I will know. This is the harvest of obedience sown in the darkest soil. This is the power of a faith that refused to die. But hear this clearly. This dawn is not for you alone. I did not forge a diamond just to keep it in a velvet box. I did not train a warrior just to parade them in peacetime. The intensity of your process has a collective purpose. You are being positioned as a guide for the next wave of weary souls. The comfort I have given you in your trouble is now yours to administer to others. The specific wisdom you gained in your confusion is now a key you carry for someone else's locked door. Your testimony, not of a perfect life, but of a perfectly faithful God in an imperfect storm, will be the lifeline I throw through you to the next heart about to give up.